I've given birth to four beautiful children in three different countries. Two in the US, one in China, and one in Singapore. And I can tell you firsthand that the American birth experiences were by far the worst. And not just like a little worse, but horrifically worse. In America, for my son, my eldest son, when he was born, my doctor broke my water by accident, prematurely, way before my due date. And I had an emergency C-section, and it was just a nightmare. Everything was rushed, and I was even told, hey, we have someone coming in right after you. So everything was rushed. In Singapore, I had the same doctor throughout the whole pregnancy. They knew my medical history. They spent time listening to me. And during the birth, there was music. They made me just feel like I was the only patient in the world. And even the birth in China was remarkably better than the US birth experiences. Brand new hospital, state-of-the-art equipment. It was just better. And that's when I really started to realize there was a pattern about this in American life. You know, even as a corporate lawyer billing 60 hours a week, I was chasing the American dream. Six-figure salary, beautiful home, corner office, but all of that chasing made my health deteriorate. I had chronic insomnia, my blood pressure was racing half the time, and then I had to realize the American dream isn't broken because we're doing it wrong. The American dream is broken by design. It's built to get the extra maximum value out of you for your whole life while giving you the minimum return on your sacrifice. Welcome to the Jamelia Greer Show. I'm your host, Jamelia, and today we're breaking down The American Dream is Broken, why I moved abroad to build real wealth. So when I calculated how long it would take me to reach actual financial freedom, to be quote unquote successful as an American lawyer and someone who was making over six figures, had two kids at the time, it shocked me. It really did. Basically 43 years of sacrificing my health, missing my children's lives, being treated like a resource or a tool rather than a human. I would literally be, retirement age and expected after 65 to experience the freedom of the American dream, right? And so that's when I began researching. What if the issue isn't my career? What if it wasn't my work ethic? Wasn't it about, how many hours I was putting in? What if it was like the entire system? The American dream isn't failing because you're not working hard enough. It's failing because no amount of work can overcome a system that's mathematically designed to keep you running in place. Let me show you the math. Okay, let's look at the math. In America, the average professional family pays around $3,500 modestly for a home in a decent school district, right? So that's $3,500 a month for housing, whether it's a mortgage or renting. Private education, that's another $2,000 a month. That's assuming that they don't want to send their kids to the public schools. Healthcare premiums, don't even get me talking about it. Talking about $1,200 a month with like an $8,000 deductible, okay? That's $6,700 per month just for housing, basic education, and the right to access healthcare if you get sick, right? So now contrast this with a place like Portugal or Singapore or Dubai, where housing costs for a larger and more modern apartment are often like 30 or 40% less. International schools with excellent outcomes, around like 25 to 35% less. Comprehensive family health care as low as $400 to $600 a month. The same income that would take the average American 43 years to reach financial freedom would just take 6 years in several international locations, several of them. And look, this isn't just about any specific country. I don't want you guys to feel like it is A or B. It really is the US versus the rest of the world. It's about recognizing that the American playing field is fundamentally tilted against you. And that's a problem. And I think many Americans today are just now waking up to that. So when I began seriously considering leaving the US, I experienced overwhelming guilt. And to be honest with you guys, I still experience it today. I felt like I was betraying, firstly, my family, right? I still have family in the US. My mother, who, is a grandmother and wanted to spend time with her grandkids, I was worried what people would think, whether I was giving up or I was running away. And, these actions revealed something fascinating. The American dream isn't just an economic system, it's a powerful social contract that shapes your identity, right? So when we talk about the American dream, it is not just like a goal, it's who you are. And the hardest conversation I had was with my mother when I told her we were moving abroad with her grandchildren. And instead of anger, she said, Jamelia, do you think I want my grandchildren to see their mother working herself to death just to maintain an illusion of success? I mean, that was kind of the message, right? So, but she was like, go be well and, show them there's more than one way to live, right? And there is more than one way to live. And Americans have become so accustomed to surviving that we've forgotten what it means to truly thrive, right? I mean, think about how much vacation you get when you start a new job, right? It's not even enough to like really do anything. And we've gotten focused on staying afloat, making rent month to month, making ends meet. And for what, right? What happened to your health? What happened to, caring about how you're doing? So when I moved outside the US, I noticed a whole bunch of changes with my health. First of all, my blood pressure stabilized. It was much better than it was when I was working the crazy hours at the firm, all stressed out. My sleep quality, I went from like 4.5 hours of interrupted sleep to like 7 hours of deep rest. Less inflammation. I could go on and on and on. I'm going to talk about how I lost weight and how my diet changed. But what you're experiencing, like the exhaustion, the health issues, the constant financial pressure that you're having despite doing everything right, it's not a personal failure. It's a system that's working exactly as designed. And that's what I think that people are realizing now. People are just now realizing this in 2025. So, the most dangerous prison is the one where you believe you've locked yourself in, when in reality, someone else holds the key and is charging you rent for your own cell, right? And that is just wild. That is just wild. The moment that everything crystallized for me came basically about like 8 months after relocating to Shanghai. So, Shanghai was like my first international stint. I moved to China and I was a single mom at the time. I was there with my two sons. And I remember being able to like go to their performances at school. And if I were working in my old job at the firm, I would have missed out on everything. I know it. I know I would have missed out on everything. But being able to like sit fully present in the moment, in the audience, and tuck them into bed and have dinner with them. And even I remember one time my son was like, Mom, you're not angry anymore. Children realize this. And he said, Mom, you're not angry anymore. And the reality is, guys, is that our children don't need our successes nearly as much as they need our presence. They don't want our achievements. They want us and whole, healthy, present us. They need us to be there. And so the unexpected benefits of this lifestyle change have been profound. My children now understand that, like, the most basic level, that there are many valid ways to live and to succeed. It's not just about having a job that overworks you. I've reclaimed hours each day previously lost, like commuting or doing performative work or sitting in meetings that are just pointless. My relationship with work has transformed from obligation to choice. And financial freedom arrived faster than I projected myself, removing myself from environments that were designed for like consumption. But I want to be really clear here. This path is not for everyone. And I talk about that a lot because a lot of people will come on YouTube, they'll come on podcasts, and they'll push and push and push for people to be entrepreneurs and to start this and to move abroad. And then when the crap hits the fan and people are like, hey, I need help, they're gone, right? So I will be very clear with you. If this message resonates with you in a way where you feel like you want to take action, then it's probably something you should consider look at. But if this message scares you to death and you're like, nah, that's not for me, then it's not for you, right? It cannot be for everybody. Some people have gotten into a point in life where, they are doing the same thing over and over again and they're comfortable with it. And to change would be such an adjustment that it might even break them, right? So this message is not for people that are in that category. But if you feel like, you've been working, you've been trying, you've chased the American dream, and it feels like it's just getting further and further away from you, then this message is for you. And so if you're feeling sort of like, a resonance about this message that I've shared with you today, if you're tired of the hamster wheel and you're ready for transformation and you need a clear path forward, there's something that I want to share with you, which is our coaching program. It's starting in May. It's called the Dubai Business Accelerator Program. And this one is really to get you in a spot that if you're looking at Dubai, that you can really launch here successfully and confidently. In my mind, the American dream was never meant to be about mortgage payments or, leasing cars and doing all this extra stuff to just keep up with people or having a prestigious job title. It was supposed to be about freedom. Like that's what the Patriots will tell you. It was supposed to be about freedom. It was supposed to be like you're able to define your own path, but we have gotten away from that. And sometimes the most patriotic thing you can do is to refuse to participate in a system that has betrayed its original promise. And that is really tough to accept. But if that message resonates with you, if you're ready for genuine transformation, I invite you to join this group business coaching program. It starts in mid-May. It's 6 weeks. I talk about Dubai a lot and my experience in coming here and transitioning from the corporate life to starting my own business. And I talk about it so much that I feel like I would be wrong if I don't share that information with you guys. And in a way that uses my experience as a lawyer, 15 years doing corporate law, to someone who has gone through it, right? Everything that I talk about in this program, I've been through. Everything that I share with you, I've experienced it. And I don't sugarcoat things. I know the challenges. So I came to Dubai on a freelance, not on a freelance visa, on a remote work visa. I had to transition from that visa to an investor partner visa. I had to set up my own company. I had to find all of the different government agencies to work with and get my medical and biometrics done all on my own. I did not have a company helping me at all. And it was crazy. But I did that, right? And I want to help people do that more efficiently in a way that can save you a lot of the headaches I went through and a lot of the costs. Because unfortunately, if you come to Dubai and you're looking to do something, there are a lot of, I'll say there are some agencies or agents who may take advantage of you. And that's just the way it is. And I think you'll see that anywhere in the world. But the reality is that if you can come here and do things right, if you can get set up legally and launch with confidence, with a business plan and a network of people who are also like-minded and want to build businesses same as you, you're basically set up for success. And there is no ceiling. And that's why I say the word limitless, because a lot of people have come here and set up and they are limitless. There's no limit on what you can do. I think the tax structure, having zero income tax, and then, just this thriving international business community, it's literally the perfect environment to build wealth rapidly while you get your health and your time back. Because I don't want to think that, anybody would come here and just get on the hustle culture train. That's not what this is about. This is about getting to a point where you can reclaim your financial freedom and at the same time, get your health back and get your time back. I am a huge believer, and I talk about this a lot in the book, Building a Business Abroad, How to Enjoy, a life of profit and purpose anywhere in the world. I am a huge believer that the purpose has to be there and that your health is so important. You have to have your health as part of this. I don't want to see anybody coming here hustling and working themselves up to like high blood pressure. Because if you do, then I've failed, right? So things that we go through in this program is about securing your visa, looking at the free zones, understanding which one is right for you and your business, and then just creating this exit strategy, right? How do you transition? That's the question I get asked the most. Like, how do you transition from a corporate life in one country to being an entrepreneur in another? And there is a way to do it. And it sounds really overwhelming for many people, but trust me, if I've done it with now, 4 kids at the time when I did it, 4 kids, I'm sure that most of you can do it with my help. So space for this program is extremely limited. I really do want to keep it to a few, like a handful of people who are really inspired and really motivated to do this the right way. I will have the link in the show notes for the page of my website. You can get all the information about this program. But whatever you decide, know this. You deserve a life where you're not just thriving, but you're truly, living your purpose. So that's my message for you all today. And I really want to say from the bottom of my heart, if you're watching, thank you for supporting this show. Thank you for watching and engaging with the content. I would love to hear more about you in the comments below. Do not be shy. We are a small community as of today, but leave your comments and let me know what are the things that you aspire to do and what is the help that you need, because that is really what helps us on the show bring it full circle. Appreciate you all, and I'll see you next time.